Hello, everybody. Josh here from Kayfabe Central, and welcome to the first ever post-show review of Monday Night Raw. I always do this with the PLE slash pay-per-views, whatever we want to call them. But I figured I might as well start doing these for the weekly shows. It's a lot more work, but hopefully it'll pay off in the end. I was going to do this on Instagram Live, but apparently Instagram changed its requirements to go live, and yeah, um, I don't meet those requirements, so I couldn't go live on Instagram. And then YouTube also has certain requirements in order to go live, in which I don't meet as well. So uh, going live option was not an option for me. So we are doing pre-recorded, but I'm going to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. As you guys can tell, I am using Zoom, but you know what it is? What it is? A post show review is a post show review. And this time you guys actually see me. For these post show reviews, I'm gonna have camera on just because I feel like for post show reviews it's a little bit better. Um, that might just be a me thing. But yeah, we're gonna get into Monday Night Raw from August 18th, 2025. That was live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A very interesting night of Monday Night Raw, and I'll get into that in a second. But before we get into the review, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, comment down below. I always love hearing you guys' opinions, whether you agree or disagree with anything I have to say. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the podcast interviews and all that good stuff that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. If you want a place to chat it up about wrestling or really anything at all, if you just want to talk about random topics, we have a Discord server and it's always linked down below. So go ahead and join up the Discord server. We don't have a lot of people in there, but hopefully we'll get some more people in there, get some good conversations going. And maybe eventually we'll do like, I don't know, like reviews or something like that. I don't know. And just do predictions for pay per views in the discords. It's always cool just talking to other people in the wrestling community and just becoming friends with other people in the wrestling community. And Discord is a great way to do that. So, and this is not a sponsorship from Discord, by the way. Um, it's just it is a good way to communicate with other people. But yeah, self promo out of the way quickly. We are going to get straight into Monday Night Raw. A 2.5 hour episode of Monday Night Raw, which they typically do. Um, we kicked off the night with the Vision, Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and the Oracle, Paul Heyman. They pretty much just came out. Paul Heyman talked about ECW since they're in Philadelphia and how he's a god in Philadelphia. Jay Uso interrupted. Um, they Paul Heyman instigated a whole lot. Um, it was just kind of a back and forth confrontation until Paul Heyman was just telling Braun Breaker Jay said certain things that he didn't, like, oh, he said your family's fat or whatever. Um, yeah, he was just trying to rile Braun Breaker up, and Paul Heyman then said it's going to be an Extreme Rules match later tonight between Jey Uso and Braun Breaker because they're in Philadelphia. ECW, the correlation there makes sense. Completely. Just my prediction for this match was like, okay, that doesn't even matter anymore because I thought it was just going to be a normal match and it was going to end in a disqualification. But obviously not the case. Honestly, I feel like WWE saw my TikTok or whatever, and they're like, okay, no, we made this show way too predictable. We got to change some things. Um, but yeah, that was that segment. Nothing else really happened there. We then went into Io Sky defeating Raquel Rodriguez by pinfall. After the match, Raquel and Roxanne both attacked Io, but then Io was saved by Rhea Ripley. And that was the end of the segment. Nothing else really happened there. Um, the crowd was not into this match, and there was a lot on this card that the crowd was not into. And Monday Night Raw tonight as a whole just felt very silly. It just felt silly, not like NXT level silly. And sometimes, like, recently, NXT level silly has been kind of funny. Raw today, just, I don't know. I couldn't get behind it. I found myself just tired, um, and like not invested in a lot of what was going on Monday Night Raw, and that's been the case for multiple weeks in a row for these weekly shows. Um, they just need to step it up a little bit with these weekly shows because they're becoming hard to watch. And there was one or two times where I did say this is a hard watch. Um, but yeah, that was Io Sky defeating Raquel Rodriguez. Backstage, we had Jackie Redmond interviewing CM Punk, but it was quickly interrupted by LA Knight. Punk wanted to work together with LA Knight. LA Knight told him, "But you keep sticking your nose on my business. I don't want to work with you. If you get on my way, you're gonna catch these hands." Um, so yeah, a little bit of a back and forth banter there between Punk and Knight. Punk is trying to get some friends, and even out the numbers, because of the Vision, how the Vision has just been dominating all over. Punk wants to gain some alliances ahead of Clash in Paris, but LA Knight just wasn't having it. Uh, we then had Oscar and Rhea Ripley get into an altercation backstage, after, earlier in the night with the Io Sky match, because Io Sky told Oscar and Kairi Sane that she's got it, and for them to just stay back. And then Oscar was mad that Rhea Ripley made the save. I don't understand what they're doing with this storyline at all. I think this is just, and this sounds harsh, and a lot of this is going to sound me just being harsh on WWE, but it honestly just feels like we have nothing else for Rhea Ripley to do. So let's just have her do this because of the Women's World Championship scene. We're going to get into that eventually, later on. But she's got nothing. She's not the number one contender. She's not in a tag team to go after the tag titles. If I were them, I would have just put Rhea in the women's IC title scene. I think that would have been a good fit for her, and you can really elevate the prestige of the women's IC title. Um, but obviously not what they're going with here. I have no idea what they're going for here, and I said that going into the show, and I'm still saying that after this show. Um, I'm assuming some sort of heel turn from Asuka and Kairi Sane. Whether or not Io joins them, I have no idea. This could just end up being a tag team match with Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Not the most interesting thing, in my opinion. That's just a Monday Night Raw match. I don't think that they should put that on a PLE or anything like that. But that was that. We then had Penta defeating Xavier Woods. This was exactly what I expected it to be. And you talk about a crowd not liking a match. The crowd was dead silent during this match. And I didn't even realize it until the match kept going on because I was also on FaceTime with one of my friends while watching Monday Night Raw. And, I'm just like, I'm there watching and I'm like talking to her. And then I take it, I'm like, this crowd is making no noise at all. And that is concerning. That, especially for a Penta match, they need to do something better with Penta than feuding with the New Day. And don't even get me started on the New Day. I've talked a few times about this, but the New Day's heel run is just terrible. They have gone nowhere with this heel run. It's nowhere as good as people expected it to be. And yeah, it's just not good. And I don't know how they can even save it at this point. They've added Grayson Waller to the mix. I I assume they thought that would liven it up a little bit, especially because they didn't have anything for Grayson Waller, I assume. Um, but this, out of all things, I just don't like it. I don't like this entire thing. It's weird. It's dumb. Um, yeah, this whole morning thing from the New Day, it's it was funny the first 2 weeks, and then after that, it was like, okay, this is kind of just played out. This should not be an ongoing thing. Um, I don't know if they're just gonna keep on this gimmick until they get another title shot. And I hope it doesn't lead to them winning the tag titles back because that just they didn't have a good run with those titles. I don't think that they need those titles. The New Day is already established, so they don't need those tag team titles. Um, but yeah, this was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Kofi tried getting involved, Grayson tried getting involved. Penta ended up winning, gained some momentum. For what? We have no idea. We then had a non-title match, the Judgment Day defeating Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana by pinfall, and I realized I spelled Dragon Lee's name wrong on the website. I typed in Dragon like with an I instead of an O. Um, they're right next to each other. That mistake happens. It's not like I meant to put an O and I put like a F. Um, I had to look down at my keyboard. What's the furthest away from O? Um, but yeah, this match again, the crowd just wasn't feeling it, and I don't know if it was just me. Maybe it was just me. Maybe the crowd was feeling it, but from what I saw and what I was listening to, they did not seem interested. Like they seemed interested in Mr. Iguana, and like Mr. Iguana is over. He doesn't seem as over as when he first came in, though. Um, Again, might just be me nitpicking. Maybe some people don't know who he is. And that's completely fine. But at this point, Mr. Iguana is international. Like almost everybody knows who Mr. Iguana is at this point. But yeah, Finn Balor and JD McDonough defeat Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. After the match, the Judgment Day, along with Dominic Mysterio, of course, attack Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. We then had El Hijo del Kingo come out and make the save, but it just wasn't enough. The Judgment Day put him down as well and stood tall. Um, yeah, obviously Dominic Mysterio is set to face Vikingo at the next World Collide event, which for some reason is happening after SmackDown. I forget which. I believe it's the 12th of September. I don't know why they wouldn't do it on the Saturday, and I there could be something on the Saturday that I'm just not remembering. But off the top of my head, I don't think there's anything on the 13th. Um, unless they're planning something. I have no idea, but I don't know why you would do this after SmackDown. A whole premium live event after SmackDown, that just doesn't make sense to me. Um, that's gonna be an exhausting night. Um, but yeah, that was that for that segment, and then we had Becky Lynch backstage, just an interview saying Natalia doesn't belong in the ring with her. Nothing really to break down there. We then had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch retaining against Natalia by submission. This was another match that the crowd was not into, and this was a theme throughout the entire night. And a crowd like Philadelphia is rarely this quiet. So if a crowd like Philadelphia is quiet during your matches, you have to be doing at least something wrong. Um, yeah, I wasn't really feeling this match either. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't pay much attention to this match. And like that's not a knock at either Becky or Natalia. I think they're both great in-ring competitors. I just had no interest in it. I don't have any interest in the whole Becky and Alpha Academy feud. It seems like it's coming to an end now. There's no need to continue it because after the match, Becky attacked Maxine Dupree and Natalia, but then Nikki Bella made the save. Completely forgot that Nikki Bella and her were feuding. Completely forgot because what has it been like 2-3 weeks since we've seen Nikki Bella? So yeah, I completely forgot Nikki and Becky were feuding, but they are probably going to go toe to toe at Clash in Paris. And we kind of expected that once Nikki Bella interrupted her the first time. Nikki cut a promo during commercial break for the American audience. You guys obviously didn't see this, but during the commercial break, I believe it was Byron Saxon who interviewed Nikki Bella, and Nikki said, "Next week in Birmingham, I will see Becky Lynch face to face in the middle of the ring." So they're gonna have another segment. Um, yeah, I've talked about Nikki Bella before. I don't really have any interest in seeing her wrestle. I've never, in terms of her wrestling, I've never been a big fan of her wrestling, but it is what it is. She's a Hall of Famer. She's a big name. People love her. Sure. Um, we then had a backstage segment where Sheamus and Rusev got into an altercation. Adam Pierce just lost his mind and pretty much um, was yelling at both Sheamus and Rusev and made a match between Sheamus and Rusev. I believe he added some sort of stipulation to the match, but I didn't catch it. Um, so if anybody else caught it, let me know down in the comments, or I'll probably see it on Instagram or something or Twitter. Um, but I believe there was a stipulation added to it. But either way, Sheamus versus Rusev at Clash in Paris. They said one more time. I don't believe that. Um, I fully believe that they've done so many things where it's like, okay, one more time, and then the feud continues, and I can see that being the case for Sheamus and Rusev, because I don't know what else they're gonna have these two do after. Um, but yeah, that was that backstage segment. Then we had a segment with Naomi coming out. Um, and Adam Pierce was in the ring with her, and she pretty much told Adam Pierce that I'm not handing over anything to you. So, and get out of my ring. It was just making fun of Adam Pierce and like making fun of his shoes and all that stuff. She was like, I hope you trip on your church shoes on the way up the ramp or something like that. Um, Naomi's just gold. She has the best insults. Um, but then she announced that, well, they showed a video of the interview that her and Jimmy Uso did with on the Stephanie McMahon podcast, and pretty much announced that they are having a baby. So the rumors were correct that Naomi and Jimmy Uso are having a kid. So congratulations to them both. But that does mean that Naomi has to relinquish the Women's World Championship. I don't know what they're going to do with this now. It wouldn't make sense to run a tournament because Stephanie Vaquer is already the number one contender, unless they do a tournament to determine who faces Stephanie at Clash in Paris. But then again, I don't think that they have enough time before Clash in Paris to run a tournament, because I believe Clash in Paris is like what, 2 weeks. They don't have enough time to run a tournament. So I don't know what they're going to do. Are they just going to pick like four random women to compete in a fatal four-way match? Um, I guess we have to wait until next week and find out what's going to happen with that. But yeah, congratulations to Naomi and Jimmy Uso. They have a kid on the way. The bloodline continues to grow, as Naomi said as well in her promo. And I made a joke to my sister who was watching the segment with me. I'm like, the bloodline's just gonna keep going and going. And Jimmy Uso was getting cheered after the announcement as well. So this is kind of where the crowd started picking up. Um, I guess they saved their biggest hits for last, which they did not do a good job at portioning out this card, because the beginning half of this show was just a snooze fest, honestly. Um, and that sounds really harsh, but that's what it was. Um, we then had a backstage segment before the main event started. Excuse me. Between Dominic Mysterio talking to El Grande Americano. Finn Balor questioned why he was talking to El Grande Americano. Dominic just said he is making sure he keeps the Judgment Day on top. And Finn Balor was just looking at him weird. He was skeptical about it, but then just moved on. So that was that. I don't really know what to break down there. I don't I don't really like the whole multiple El Grande Americano thing, even though we didn't see the other El Grande Americanos tonight. See, I have no idea what they're doing with this. I don't like this for Ludwig Kaiser. It's obviously not what I would have had Ludwig Kaiser do, but he seems to be working with what he's given, and I can give him all the props in the world for that. Then the main event came. It was an Extreme Rules match. Jey Uso defeating Braun Breaker by pinfall. Absolute chaos in this match. Towards the end of the match, we had Braun Breaker looking to destroy Jey Uso along with Bronson Reed, who came out. LA Knight came out, threw a few punches, did his thing. And then the Vision got the upper hand. But then CM Punk came out. CM Punk came out, threw a few right hands, threw a few strikes, accidentally knocks LA Knight off the apron into a table, into a Slim Jim table, I might add. And then, Punk was caught off guard. Punk then chased Seth Rollins out of the building and, chased him through the crowd. They fought through the crowd. That left Jey Uso alone. And then Braun Breaker was setting up for a spear on the outside on Jey Uso. But then Roman Reigns' music hits. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect Roman Reigns. I did not expect him to be here tonight. He's been showing up a lot more recently. Yeah, it was kind of a nice surprise. It's always a nice surprise when Roman Reigns shows up. And yeah, this was a solid main event. It ended with Roman Reigns taking out Braun Breaker with a spear, taking out Bronson Reed with a Superman punch. And then Jey Uso hit the Uso splash through the table on Braun Breaker to pick up the win. So the second half of this match, or of the show, really, or honestly, just the ending of the show, from the Naomi segment, was the better part of this show. And they should have portioned this out a lot better, but even still, if they portioned it out better, the other things that they had on this card just weren't that good. And I've given them multiple chances. I get booking week to week shows is difficult, and not every week is going to be good, but recently none of the weeks have been good. But yeah, this was a solid main event, Extreme Rules match. You can expect that with a match like this, and a feud like this. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw for August 18th, 2025. Let me know what you guys thought about Monday Night Raw. Your predictions going into Clash in Paris. I'm going to have the predictions podcast up closer to the event, like we always do. I'll probably have Rue and Stu on there most likely. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Monday Night Raw, and if you guys enjoy these post show reviews for the weekly shows. I am probably going to do them for NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown. I'm not too sure about TNA, but those are the shows that I just mentioned. I will do them. I will do the post show for those as well. I want to get as much content out to you guys as possible. So yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, all the post-show reviews, all the interviews, all the podcasts that come to the channel. Go follow my TikTok as well. I've been posting more content on there. So if you want to see, more wrestling content, go ahead and check out the TikTok page. Also follow my Instagram. I post news on there as well, anything wrestling news related. Also on my Twitter/X, I post wrestling news and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go ahead and check those out as well. Like I said at the beginning of this review, go check out the Ko-Fi page, the Kayfabe Central Ko-Fi page. Is $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Go check out the Discord server. if you want to go chat it up about wrestling or anything else. And yeah, that is going to do it for this Monday Night Raw post show review. Once again, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.